Why do some people feel genuinely wealthy on $75,000 a year, while others feel perpetually broke on $300,000? The difference isn't their salary, it's a series of hidden psychological habits they use to control money, instead of letting money control them. This video reveals the 10 most powerful of these mindsets, starting with the one that breaks you out of the chasing more trap forever. The enough number. You're sitting in a coffee shop with a pen and napkin, writing down a single number. Not your dream salary or your retirement goal, your enough number. The exact annual amount where you'd stop chasing more and start living fully. $75,000. Maybe $100,000. Maybe $200,000. Once you hit it, you stop playing someone else's game. Most people never write this number down. They spend their entire careers chasing a moving target that always stays just out of reach. Make $60,000, need $80,000. Make $80,000, need $120,000. The goalpost slides forward automatically, propelled by lifestyle inflation and the quiet belief that happiness lives somewhere on the other side of the next raise. There's a concept in behavioral economics called your financial satisfaction point. It's the income level where additional money stops improving your daily emotional well-being in meaningful ways. Research consistently shows diminishing returns. The difference between $40,000 and $70,000 annually is life-changing. The difference between $200,000 and $400,000 is mostly just numbers getting bigger. Your enough number isn't about settling. It's about defining the terms of engagement with your own ambition. When you know your number, you can make decisions based on what you actually want. That job that pays 30% more but requires 70-hour weeks? You can evaluate it against your number. That promotion with prestige and stress? You can ask whether it moves you toward your enough or just towards someone else's definition of success. People who define their enough number report something unexpected. Freedom. Not from having unlimited resources, but from knowing when you've won. You stop comparing yourself to people playing infinite games with infinite goalposts. Here's what happens when you hit your enough number. You don't stop growing. You shift from scarcity-driven ambition to abundance-driven purpose. Projects get chosen because they're meaningful rather than because they pay the most. Time becomes the thing you optimize for instead of money. The richest people aren't those who have the most, they're those who know when they have enough. And once you write that number down, you'll never see money the same way again. The reverse budget. Most people budget by tracking what they spent last month and feeling guilty. You do the opposite. You decide what you want your life to cost, then you engineer your lifestyle to hit that number. Rent, $1,400 maximum. Restaurants, $300. Your budget isn't tracking reality, it's designing it. This is prescriptive budgeting. Traditional budgets look backward, cataloging where your money went, hoping awareness alone will change behavior. You open your banking app, see you spent $600 on takeout, feel regret, promise you'll do better. Then next month, it's $570. Slightly better, still reactive. You're deciding in advance what your life should cost, then making your actual life conform to that vision. It's the difference between observing your behavior and directing it. When you set the numbers first, every spending decision gets filtered through a simple question. Does this fit my design or break it? Constraints drive creativity in ways that unlimited options never do. When you decide restaurants are $300 per month before the month starts, you don't mindlessly order delivery on a Tuesday. You start thinking strategically. Which meals matter most? You're not depriving yourself, you're curating. Research shows that setting limits before action is significantly more effective than trying to resist in the moment. When you're hungry in front of a menu, willpower fails. But when you designed your spending on Sunday with a clear head, that decision has already been made. This approach eliminates the shame spiral that traditional budgeting creates. If you hit your numbers, the system works. If you don't, you adjust the design or adjust your behavior. Either way, you're in control. People who budget prescriptively report peace. Not because they're spending less necessarily, but because they're spending intentionally. Every dollar has a predetermined purpose. Don't track your life, design it. The salary to hourly calculator. Someone offers you a freelance project. $500 for something that'll take 15 hours. Most people see $500 and think nice extra cash. You see $33 per hour and compare it to your day job rate of $48 per hour. You're about to work overtime at a pay cut. The answer is suddenly obvious: decline. Most people never do this math. They see a lump sum and their brain registers opportunity without calculating whether it's profitable. $500 feels significant. But when you break it down to what you're earning per hour of your life, the picture changes. You're trading premium hours at a discount rate. Here's the formula. Take your annual salary and divide it by 2,080 hours. That's 52 weeks times 40 hours per week. If you make $100,000 per year, your true hourly rate is roughly $48. That number becomes your baseline. Every opportunity gets filtered through that lens. Salary employees often have no idea what their time is actually worth on an hourly basis. They think in annual terms, vague abstractions. When someone offers them a side project, they can't evaluate it accurately because they don't know their own rate. You do. Our brains strongly prefer lump sums. $500 triggers a dopamine response that $33 per hour doesn't. Marketers exploit this constantly. This habit protects you from being perpetually busy without being proportionally paid. That freelance writing gig paying $200 per article sounds decent until research and revisions mean you're working for $25 per hour. People who consistently evaluate opportunities this way make better career decisions. They say no to things that seem appealing but don't make financial sense. They hold out for projects that actually match their value. This framework also clarifies when to say yes. Opportunities that pay significantly above your hourly rate become obvious wins. But you're making those decisions with full information rather than emotional reactions to numbers that sound big. Time has a price tag. Make sure you're charging enough. The 30-day bill review. It's the first of the month, and you're doing something most people never do. Reading every recurring charge on your statements line by line. That $9.99 streaming service you forgot about. Cancelled. That gym membership you haven't used in 4 months. Gone. 20 minutes just freed up $83 per month. That's $996 per year you were lighting on fire. This is the subscription creep effect. Small recurring charges slip past our awareness in ways that large purchases never could. You'd never hand someone $1,000 for something you're not using. But you'll let a dozen $10 monthly charges quietly drain your account for years. The average person maintains 12 to 15 active subscriptions but actively uses only 3 to 5 regularly. The rest just renew automatically, collecting money for value you're not receiving. Your brain processes small recurring charges differently than one-time purchases. A $200 expense triggers scrutiny, but a $9.99 monthly charge barely registers. Except it's not negligible when it compounds. $9.99 times 12 months is nearly $120. Multiply that across 8 forgotten subscriptions, and you're hemorrhaging almost $1,000 per year. The convenience that makes subscriptions appealing is exactly what makes them dangerous. You're outsourcing decisions to your past self, but circumstances change, interests shift, and those automated charges keep running. 20 minutes on the first of every month, systematically reviewing every recurring charge can save you $500 to $2,000 annually. Over a decade, that's $10,000 to $20,000 you kept. People who consistently audit their subscriptions develop financial awareness. They know exactly where their money goes. When you know you'll review charges at month's end, you think twice before adding new subscriptions. First of the month, open your statements, read every line, cancel anything that doesn't actively improve your life. Just attention and willingness to cut what isn't working. Small leaks sink big ships. Small audits save big money. The public commitment you post on social media that you're not buying any new clothes for 6 months. Now every time you're tempted to shop, you remember that 200 people saw that post. You're not just breaking a promise to yourself anymore. You're breaking it in front of an audience, and somehow that makes all the difference. This is the public commitment effect. We care deeply about appearing consistent with our stated identity. Private promises are whispers we can pretend we never made. Public promises are declarations witnessed by others. The shift from internal to external accountability changes everything. People who announce their goals publicly are significantly more likely to follow through. The difference isn't willpower. It's the psychological cost of being seen as someone who says one thing and does another. The commitment itself becomes part of your identity. You're not just someone trying not to buy clothes, you're someone who publicly declared a 6-month clothing ban. When breaking your commitment means contradicting who you said you are, the resistance to breaking it becomes exponentially stronger. This works across virtually every financial goal: spending freezes, savings challenges, debt payoff journeys. State your intention publicly, create social witnesses, let consistency bias do the heavy lifting. The power isn't about shame. It's about structure. Private commitments are easy to renegotiate with yourself. You can move the goalpost, make exceptions. Public commitments exist outside your internal narrative, visible to others, resistant to endless self-negotiation. When you make financial goals public, community support appears. People cheer you on, offer encouragement. Friends ask how it's going. Those external reminders keep your commitment front of mind in ways that internal motivation never sustains. People who consistently use public commitment achieve goals faster and with less internal resistance. They've outsourced part of the discipline to social dynamics. Private promises are easy to break. Public ones have witnesses. The negotiation muscle. You're at a garage sale, standing in front of a lamp marked $15. Instead of just paying, you hear yourself say, "Would you take 10?" The seller says yes immediately. You just negotiated over $5. Not because you needed to, but because you're treating every transaction like practice for the ones that actually matter. Most people reserve negotiation for major life events. Salary discussions, car purchases, home offers. Then they walk into those conversations rusty and uncomfortable. You're building negotiation as a reflex. Every small transaction becomes low-stakes training for the conversations that will reshape your financial life. People who negotiate regularly throughout their careers earn 7 to 8% more over their lifetime than people who accept posted prices. On a 50-year career, earning an average of $70,000 annually, that's $245,000 left on the table because asking felt uncomfortable. The psychology of negotiation is about overcoming one barrier: the discomfort of asking. That discomfort is learned, which means it can be unlearned through exposure. When you negotiate over a $15 lamp, you're practicing the physical sensation of asking for something different than what was offered. When you practice consistently, the skill becomes automatic. Negotiating your cable bill, asking for a discount on furniture, these stop feeling like major events. Most prices in most contexts are negotiable. We've just been socialized to believe posted prices are fixed. People expect negotiation far more than you think. Service providers build negotiation room into their pricing. Sellers expect offers below asking price. By not negotiating, you're leaving money on the table that the other party fully expected to give up. The confidence from small negotiations transfers directly to large ones. When you've successfully negotiated 50 small transactions, walking into a salary discussion feels less like foreign territory. The mechanics are the same. State what you want, justify why it's reasonable, be comfortable with brief silence. Every transaction is teaching you something. Either it's teaching you to accept what's offered, or it's teaching you to ask for what you want. Whichever lesson you practice becomes the skill you carry into the moments that actually change your financial trajectory. The conspicuous non-consumption. Your coworker just pulled up in a new luxury SUV, lease payment, probably eating 25% of their salary. You're still driving your 8-year-old Honda with 100,000 miles on it, paid off 3 years ago. At the stoplight, they're thinking about the impression they're making. You're thinking about the $600 per month you're not spending. This is stealth wealth. Traditional status displays are about visibility: the car, the watch, the designer bag. You've opted out of that game, not because you can't play it, but because you've realized the scoreboard is rigged. Spending money to look wealthy is the opposite of spending money to become wealthy. A $600 monthly car payment over 5 years is $36,000. If you invested that same $600 monthly in a basic index fund averaging 7% annual returns, you'd have $43,000 after 5 years. The difference between looking successful and being successful is thousands of dollars compounding in opposite directions. Research on actual millionaires reveals something shocking. They overwhelmingly drive older, paid-off vehicles. Not because they're cheap, but because they understand that every dollar spent on depreciating status symbols is a dollar not working for you. This habit requires a mental shift. From what can I afford to what do I actually need? Affordability is a trap. You can probably afford a lot of things that will keep you from ever building real wealth. The question isn't whether your income supports the payment, the question is whether the purchase supports your financial goals. When you stop caring what others think about your visible markers of success, you liberate enormous amounts of mental energy and cash flow. That energy gets redirected toward things that actually build wealth. Investments, education, business opportunities. People who embrace this report something unexpected: pride. Not shame about driving an older car, but genuine pride in prioritizing substance over appearance. Real wealth doesn't need to announce itself. It accumulates quietly and creates options that people performing wealth will never have, like retiring early or taking career risks without fear. Status symbols are expensive precisely because they're signals, not because they're superior products. You're paying a premium for the logo, the social message. When you opt out of status signaling, you stop paying that premium. Real wealth whispers, fake wealth shouts. The salary spreadsheet. You're updating a private spreadsheet nobody will ever see. It tracks every salary you've ever earned, every raise you've negotiated, every job offer you've declined. Most people couldn't tell you what they made 3 jobs ago. You can tell them what you made 3 jobs ago on a per-hour basis, adjusted for inflation. This is career capital awareness. Most people experience their career as disconnected events. You're treating your earning history as data, which means you can analyze it, learn from it, and use it strategically. The spreadsheet tells stories your brain edits out. That lateral move 5 years ago that felt sideways? The data shows it increased your earning power by 18% within 2 years. That prestigious title you chased, it came with only a 4% raise and led nowhere. The patterns become visible. Job hopping versus staying loyal. Negotiating hard versus accepting first offers. The numbers reveal what actually moved your trajectory forward. This habit changes how you show up in salary negotiations. When you can say with precision what your earning growth has been, when you know exactly how much each previous negotiation gained you, you negotiate from documented strength. You're not guessing. You're presenting evidence. The spreadsheet also protects you from career traps, taking moves that sound good but don't advance your financial position. A fancier title at a company with less budget. A role with more prestige but stagnant compensation. With data, you can evaluate them against your actual earning trajectory. Here's what becomes visible: the compound effect of strategic career moves. A single well-negotiated raise doesn't just increase your current salary. It becomes your new baseline for every future negotiation. That $5,000 increase you fought for compounds through your entire career. Over 20 years, that one negotiation could be worth an additional $150,000. People who maintain this career data report clarity. They know exactly which moves have historically paid off. They evaluate new opportunities against documented trajectory instead of hope. They stop making career decisions based on what sounds good and start making them based on what the data says works. You can't optimize what you don't measure. And once you start measuring, you'll never make career decisions the same way again. The expensive friend audit. Your phone buzzes with another group chat invitation. Beach weekend in the Hamptons. Ski trip to Aspen. Bottomless brunch that costs $200 per person. You scroll through your bank statements and realize something uncomfortable. Certain friendships are costing you $500 or more per month, and you're not even having that much fun. This is social spending contagion. Your peer group influences your spending patterns more powerfully than your actual income level. People consistently adjust their consumption to match their social circle, even when that circle spends far beyond what their finances can support. You're not buying experiences because you want them. You're buying membership in a group that's decided expensive is the price of belonging. Some relationships require constant financial performance. There's always another dinner, another trip, another event. These friendships operate on an unspoken assumption: participation equals spending. Opting out equals drifting away. Here's how you identify which friendships are draining versus enriching. Look at your bank statements over the last 3 months and highlight every social expense. Then ask yourself a brutal question. If this friendship disappeared tomorrow, Would I choose to spend money on these experiences anyway? The ones where the answer is no, those are financial performance relationships. High-income individuals often have surprisingly low-cost social habits. They gather at homes instead of restaurants. They take walks instead of expensive classes. Long conversations over coffee instead of weekend getaways. The correlation isn't about being cheap. It's about choosing relationships based on connection rather than consumption. This isn't about abandoning friendships. It's about being intentional. Some friends genuinely share interests that cost money. But some friendships have accidentally built expensive habits into their foundation because nobody wants to be the person who suggests something different. The courage to suggest a hike instead of brunch, a game night instead of a concert, that courage separates people who control their social spending from people whose social spending controls them. When you audit expensive friendships, you start noticing who suggests free activities and who always defaults to expensive ones. You recognize which relationships feel energizing and which leave you anxious about money. The friends who matter most are usually the ones who never required financial performance. They wanted your time and attention, not your wallet. People who make this evaluation report relief. Not because they've cut people out, but because they've given themselves permission to show up differently, to suggest alternatives, to say no without guilt. Your wealthiest asset isn't money. It's people who don't make you perform wealth to earn belonging. Those friendships, the ones that cost nothing but give everything, those are the relationships that make you richer in every sense that actually matters. The waiting game. You're on Amazon, finger hovering over buy now on a $300 noise-cancelling headphone set you absolutely need right this second. Instead of clicking, you close the tab and set a reminder for 72 hours. Your cart sits there, waiting. Most of those items? You'll forget they even existed by Wednesday. This is the 72-hour rule. The concept exploits a quirk in how your brain processes desire. In the moment of discovery, that new gadget feels urgent and necessary. Your brain floods with anticipation, imagining how much better your life will be. That feeling is powerful, persuasive, and almost completely unreliable as a guide to actual need. This is present bias, the tendency to overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue future consequences. When you're looking at a product right now, your brain can vividly imagine the pleasure of owning it. What it can't imagine is the regret you'll feel in 3 days when you realize you don't actually need it. The 72-hour rule creates space between impulse and action. In that space, clarity appears. Here's what happens during those 72 hours. The manufactured urgency fades. Retailers create false scarcity. Limited time offers, countdown timers, only 3 left in stock. All designed to convince you that waiting means losing out. But when you wait anyway, you discover the deal comes back. The product is still available, the urgency was engineered, and your desire has often evaporated completely. Research shows a striking pattern. Between 60 and 70% of items in online shopping carts are never purchased if the buyer waits even briefly. That's your brain correctly identifying the difference between wanting something in the moment and actually needing it. True needs persist. False wants evaporate the moment the dopamine hit wears off. This habit rewires how you relate to shopping entirely. When you know you're going to wait anyway, the frantic energy of impulse buying disappears. You stop scrolling shopping sites looking for excitement. The whole dynamic shifts from reactive to intentional. People who use this rule consistently report something unexpected. Freedom. Not the freedom of owning more stuff, but the freedom of wanting less. When you create space between desire and acquisition, you notice how many of your wants are manufactured by algorithms and marketing. That awareness changes everything. You become harder to manipulate, harder to sell to. The deeper wisdom is about distinguishing signal from noise in your own desires. True needs don't evaporate when you wait. They persist. They make sense across multiple days. They're still worth the money after the excitement fades. False wants are just noise, bright and loud in the moment, but gone by Wednesday. The waiting isn't the sacrifice. The waiting is the strategy. And it works better than willpower ever could. Adopting even one of these habits can fundamentally change your financial trajectory. If this video gave you a new tool for your mindset, show your support with a like. To make sure you never miss a strategy for building real, lasting wealth, hit subscribe.